Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 game cast by Glitch. This is going to be Game 2 of TSLPuMa versus STSquirtle. As I said, this is Game 2 of a best of 3 that was played at the NASL. If you didn't catch the NASL, then, well, now's your time. I mean, as I mentioned, I missed this series of matches at the actual NASL, which I did attend, but, yeah, I didn't get to see this series of matches, so I thought I would cast these games so that I could view them. Spawning here in the top left corner as the yellow as the yellow Terran, we have TSLPuMa. Spawning in the bottom right corner of Crevasse as the red Protoss, we have STSquirtle. Now, in Game 1, we saw a very nice little push from TSLPuMa, and he just pushed out on one base, basically with a lot of Marines and 3 siege tanks, and was able to secure a bunker at STSquirtle's front. And Squirtle just expanded, didn't have quite the army count that Puma did have, and didn't quite have the necessary force fields to combat the attack of TSLPuMa, and was not able to hold off the attack, taking a quick loss in Game 1. So in Game 2, we're hoping that STSquirtle is going to be able to come back with a little bit of an easy win for himself. Again, I don't know. I haven't actually seen this match, but I'm kind of hoping for a good best of 3 here. So I'm kind of actually hoping that STSquirtle wins this match. It's kind of common. I just came back from MLG this past weekend, and people always ask you, who do you want to win this match? And I have to say that in most of these matches, I'm never that particularly partial to one player unless I have a particularly good reason to be. Most of the time, I'm usually not partial to any specific player, and I really just want to see a good game. I love to see a best of 3 actually get to that third game just to see, just because of the tension and the excitement that comes. If it's 1-1 and that last game is just the game that's going to make the difference, I always just love to see it get to that third game. It's just always so exciting for me, and I just love to be at that Game 3 and just all the excitement. So, both players going for a fast expansion in their base. On Crevasse, this is a pretty standard move to do, just because the natural is pretty well defended. As you can see, the only ramp to the natural is this ramp here, which is actually in your main base. So, as you can see, your main base does have a bit of a wide choke to it, has these destructible rocks, so you can actually widen this choke later. But attacking that natural is very hard to do, so most players do go for a fast expand style of play on this map. Now, it's worth noting that at the natural expansion of these bases, it is not a full natural expansion. There are only 6 mineral patches here, and only 1 gas geyser, so it's not really quite a full expansion, and so you see some unique builds just because players tend to have to tailor their builds just a little bit. They can't quite get the full production of 2 bases when they only have this half base here, so they usually have to change up their style of play just a little bit to account for a slightly smaller natural. Sometimes, to combat this, players will actually take their second base at what is normally the third on Crevasse, just so that they can get up their full production, knowing that their opponent will most likely just take the easy-to-take natural expansion up on this high ground. TSLPuMa has now thrown down 2 barracks. Looks like no gas has come down yet for Puma, though he is just throwing up his gas geysers right now. This is a pretty typical opening for Terrans. He's thrown down 1 actually at his natural expansion, which is kind of unusual. This means that he's going to be getting some gas, and Squirtle might not scout it right away. Squirtle might see the lack of gas and might be expecting a different style of play from Puma if he doesn't get into this natural to scout. But there are now Marines moving across the field. I'm actually curious to know what Puma is going to be doing with that gas, whether he's going to be throwing down some tech labs and getting a quick stim or combat shield possibly, because so far that gas has not been used at all for Puma, though it looks like, yes, there is a factory now going down, so it looks like he is going to be going for another Marine tank style of play. And on the Protoss side of things, it looks like we do have a gateway that has gone down. Cybernetics Core is now up, researching that warp gate tech, and the gateways are just now being built as the scan from Puma does land, and so he does see that Squirtle is going for that 3-gate style of play. I'll actually be interested to see what the next level of production that Squirtle's going to be going for, whether he's going to be getting that robo and expanding again, or will he just stick to this for just a little while. I'm actually not sure what is completely standard for Protoss to do in this match, on this map, as I said, because of this kind of half-natural, then I don't know if he's still going to be getting quite the production structures that he usually gets on a full 2 base or not. But man, we are seeing more gateways going up, so it looks like we are going to be seeing a heavy gateway style of play from STSquirtle. Squirtle now pulling back with his all his units. He did have a bunch of Marines out here. He did see them from the Xel'Naga Watchtower and knows that there could be some pressure coming. But Squirtle looks like he has thrown down a pylon in Puma's 3rd base, and I don't think Puma has scouted this yet, though he might just be about to scout this. Yes, he does find it, and it looks like that pylon is going to go down. So nice little scout there from TSLPuMa, nice little catch. Now the factory is up, and so is the starport, and it looks like he's having a little bit of indecision as to what he wants to put on that reactor, but it looks like it is going to be the starport, so we are going to be seeing some medevacs coming, maybe seeing some good drop play coming up soon. These 3 barracks are now up, Marauders are now coming out onto the field. There is 1 barracks with a reactor, so he's going to be getting some Marines here, throwing down a few bunkers for defense. This is because he was on that Xel'Naga tower, so he does see this force now moving out. Looks like he's expecting a little bit of aggression here from STSquirtle. So it looks like he's going to be just bunkering up, turtling just a little bit until he can get that medevac count up, possibly after that do some drops. Looks like he is sending out his factory to do some scouting ahead of time. And the units for STSquirtle is coming in right now. Looks like they are going to try to destroy these rocks here. He does have the proxy pylon in place, so he will be able to warp more units to this. And man, that's a lot of units he's going to be warping in at once. Very nice choice of warp-ins there by Squirtle. If you will notice, he went for all these early sentries. Why? Because sentries increase in value the longer you have them. The longer you have sentries, the more energy they have, the more force fields and guardian shields you'll be able to throw down, and that means you're going to have a lot of energy for when you do push. So he places this forward pylon, then with all his gateways and warp gates, he warps in a lot of zealots and a few stalkers here for damage, and looks like he's going to be doing a very nice little push here. Puma moving out with an SCV just now sees all these forces are moving in, and holy cow, that is a lot of zealots moving into the base. All the SCVs are being pulled. Nice force fields there from STSquirtle, as it's preventing all these SCVs from doing any repairing on these bunkers, and those bunkers are taking a lot of damage. The bunkers are slowly going down to all these zealots. These zealots are absorbing a lot of damage for these stalkers, and this Guardian Shield's helping those Zealots to stay alive even longer against those Marines, and so much damage is being done to TSLPuMa right now, and it looks like he might actually be able to break the front. More units are being warped in here from this pylon, and so many units are now in the base of Puma. Puma not able to hold this off. Looks like he does not quite have the forces he needs, and all his production structures are now going down. Wow, what a nice push there by STSquirtle. So much damage now being done. Stalkers moving into the natural, trying to take out that second expansion command center, and all the zealots now moving into the mineral line of TSLPuMa. Production structures all falling. I expect a GG from TSLPuMa here any minute now. So wow, just a very nice push here by STSquirtle. Very well thought out, very well timed, and looks like he is going to force that GG from Puma. So this means that we are going to be going into a Game 3, ladies and gentlemen. I am super excited for a Game 3, because that means we are going to find out who was able to win this series, or win this small series of matches, and who was able to go on at the NASL Grand Finals, and there is the GG from TSLPuMa. Here we go, on to Game 3 to see who can clean up and win this series. Back in a moment, guys.